You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Shanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow. Manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, sunshines, and welcome to a new episode of Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. My name is Shanel, and I am your host and your spiritual tour guide, taking you on this journey of spiritual awareness and awakening in this thing we call life, giving you the real talk, even though sometimes I feel like maybe you don't want it, like today. Today I wanted to talk about the full moon that is happening tomorrow, September 17th, in Pisces. As well, there is also a partial lunar eclipse. And when we get into eclipse season, it's just like, what are you going to get? There's this shakeup that happens with eclipses that is just kind of an energetic, oh my gosh, and you kind of just have to hold on for it. There's no preparation for eclipse energy. It just happens and you have to flow with it. So it felt important to have a conversation around these two events that are happening. And the big part of that is because there's so much coming up. Definitely, I've been overwhelmed with in a good way, of the messages from people that are just like, I'm stuck. I don't like the feeling. I don't know what to do. This is the energy we're stepping into right now. This eclipse season is going to bring in some really wonky energy that is going to feel really emotional and heavy. Moon cycles are about feminine energy and emotions, and a lunar eclipse is going to heighten that and bring it up even more. There is this awareness of emotions in general that are coming through and that we have to be aware of. There's this heightened awareness. But there is also this piece of we can move through things with structure, routine, organization, yet at the same time, complete surrender, awareness, and stepping into the flow, that we can have both of these things at the same time. The emotions are here to get our attention, to be like, hey now, something's going on and I want you to see it. Right now, we are moving through an era, a period where we are being asked to up level, where we are being asked to acknowledge that we can move through the structure of our day-to-day and still be plugged in and connected to ourselves and to spirit, to be in a place of full awareness. This seems like a really unusual place to be for a lot of people. Those of us that work in the spiritual realm have spent years trying to keep ourselves in both worlds at the same time. Whereas the majority, this isn't something that is done naturally necessarily. I would love to think that it is, because I would love to think that we can all do this with ease and grace, but it definitely takes some effort. And all of these things that are coming up right now are this push towards our connection and towards living our dreams. So there is this overwhelming urge to keep moving forward in the things that are making us feel happy and joyful, yet at the same time, we are getting these overwhelming emotions of things that we need to clear away. There is this fear of loss of connection or feeling disconnected. And when the emotions come on heavy and strong, that often will happen. For example, I don't read for people typically in crisis. And that's more mediumship than it is a regular reading. I get lots of people that come to me for a reading or energy work when they're having things go down, and that's okay. But when it comes to mediumship, I often will get messages of like, my so-and-so just passed away and I need to get a reading. And for me, there's a period of time where your loved one has to cross over to the other side and they need time to do that. But also there needs to be some time and space for you to be able to listen and hear and to be present with the things that I need to say to you and to pass along from your loved one. So there is this piece where when we're in this heightened sense, we struggle to tap into our own emotion or like our own connection, our own intuition. And even someone like me who does this work professionally, when I'm in the middle of my own crap, I ask for help. I ask my circle, my soul family to, help me to move through it, to clear energy, to regulate my nervous system, or to tap into, where I need to be at the moment. But what we often get caught up with, and I think it's a definite issue in this transition, is we are creatures of habit and we really love to know the how. We know we want to know, we need to know what's next. And that isn't always being shown to us, and even more so right now. Because we are being asked to move into this place of trust. We are being asked to move into this space where we flow. The surrender we talk about when moving into the flow is not about giving up or releasing completely, who cares, I'm not doing this. That is not the energy of surrender. And we've given it this, we have this perception, and it's only a perception, that surrender means giving up. And when we wave that white flag, the reality of it is we're not fighting anymore. And there's a difference between giving up and no longer fighting. When we choose to no longer fight, we let go of resistance. We open our awareness to be able to see, hear, and feel. We move into a place of trust that the universe is giving us what we need when we need it. Prime example, my sweet husband works straight midnights. So he keeps his schedule 7 days a week, even though he doesn't have to, but it's easier on his body to keep his sleep schedule. This morning he comes into the bedroom and he said, I bought a new book. I'm halfway through it and I think it was for you and not for me. And I was like, I love it when he says things like that. I absolutely love it. And he went on and on and on about this book and how it is, he bought it for management style and helping to create team. And instead, this one was all about marketing. And he loved it even more because it even said in the book, and reach out to me and I will help you write a book. That's the new business card, which if any of you follow me on social media, he probably a month or so ago came into my office and spent probably 15 or 20 minutes convincing me that I needed to write a book. Which, let's be honest, we can call a spade here. I have a book. I do a planner. I write I create a weekly planner every year, and I've been doing it for 4 years. So I kind of already have a book. But yeah, I'll write a book eventually too. So it was just the excitement of this. But the things he was saying to me about this book, which now I'm excited to read, and it's a short, quick read, were things that I needed to hear about me and my business and growing my business. But it also was this beautiful thing where the universe said, look, he supports you. He is here and he has your back and he's excited for you. And those are all really important messages too. When we're really present, and I wasn't exactly because I was kind of tired. I had just woken up. We get to accept those things. It makes my heart smile when I hear these things. This is this part of surrender. I could have fought him on it and said, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And, but instead I was just like, keep talking. A, it's adorable and sweet and loving. And B, yeah, this book might be something that can really help me if I just open my mind to it and allow. It's come into my energy field for a reason, and I will definitely read it. When we can find these places of surrender where we're like, we're going to make it work. It's going to happen. This is part of manifestation too. When we have this awareness of, holding on to the truth of something or trusting in the truth of something, then it's easier to make it happen. When we are in a place where we're, worried about money, worried about filling a workshop, worried about selling enough tickets or booking enough clients, having enough to pay the next set of bills, we create more of those fears. We create more of those worries. Worry is a prayer for something you don't want. So instead, when we can move into that place of trust, I have an event coming up. I trust that it's going to sell out completely and then some. And that is my faith. That is my trust. That is my surrender to the universe, because you've shown me that I can do this, and I'm just going to believe that you can do it. And believing is seeing, not the other way around, which is what we like. Because again, we are all about the how. We want validation before we get it. But the reality is spirit, the universe, the flow of the grander scheme of things, of source, wants us to believe it, and then it will show it to us. So this eclipse season is going to turn us upside down for a little bit, and it's going to shake things up a little bit. But it is also bringing in more attention to our dreams, into the things that fulfill us. And it's important to pay attention to that. Yes, of course, there's soul work that needs to be done to be able to get to that place. There are plenty of things that are going to come up, but it is about letting go of control. It is about stopping the forcing, because it doesn't work. It's about letting go, loosening that grip, and releasing the thing. Sometimes we hold on so tight that we can't see that something no longer serves us, or that this is the thing that's holding us back. It is really about honoring where you are and what you need. It is about honoring and prioritizing yourself. We grew up with that societal belief that, we have to respect and and it's not about a lack of respect putting ourselves first. It is okay to say no to things. It is okay to set boundaries. Boundaries are about love. Boundaries are about creating the space that is needed to love you and me simultaneously. So all of these things are bubbling up to the surface. And yes, it is a ton of emotions, and I can just see the cauldron overflowing and bubbling. And this piece of Shanel, keep it to yourself. Stop telling us. We just don't want to know that there's more turmoil. But when we have awareness that this is happening, it helps us to go, no, I'm not going to wallow in this. I will prioritize myself in the way that I need to move through this, but I'm not going to let it eat me alive. I am not going to let it take me down. I am not going to fight it. Because when we fight against it, or we surrender into that, oh my God, I'm just not going to do this, then we let go of something that is our own power. By honoring ourselves as we move through a dark soul of the night, as we move through shadow work, we are caring for ourselves. Because that is what it's about. It's not about wallowing in it. It's not about creating more of it. It is about honoring it. It is about acceptance of that this is a piece of who we are. And without the acceptance of the fact that it is ours, we can never release it. When we deny it, we hold on to it. Denying it or avoiding it is like holding on so tight. It's like duct taping it to yourself. Instead, through acceptance, we learn how to let go of it. We learn how to say thank you for why you are here. And that is through the detachment that we have. Thank you for this fear for coming up and trying to keep me safe. I appreciate that that's why you are here. My acceptance of this is that I honor you. I honor this fear and why it has come up. But I am in a place where I have an understanding and a trust and a faith that this is the way that I can function now. That I can move beyond that fear. And it's so interesting that when we actually honor the fear, it releases us. It lets us go. So in those moments when the dark soul comes up, ask for help. Reach out to your support system. Get help. We were never meant to do this alone, ever. It is totally about the village. And I know personally, I'm so grateful for my village, my soul family. But also the piece of it is, are you able to honor it? Can you say, hey, this feeling is coming up and this is where it's coming from? Often when we start to recognize, we can trickle back and find the trauma that created it. And we can see the trigger that activated it. And then we can choose to move in a different way, even if it takes time to do that. That is this season. That is the energy of this eclipse and this full moon. Now, let's just talk about full moon in general for a second, because I think that's really important too. The full moon is about releasing and letting go. The full moon is kind of that midway point through the cycle. We've had that new moon, we've set intentions, we've fed them, and we've had this increase of energy until we hit the full moon. At the full moon or the midway, our energy starts to drop off to go back into contemplation towards the new moon. So the full moon is about gratitude, it is about accomplishment, it is about honoring, and it is about releasing. Thank you for this thing, and I am letting it go. I am grateful for achieving this thing, and now I am releasing and letting it go. This is amplified during this season because the Pisces energy is also about healing and releasing. It is about this endless freedom. It is about embodying our dreams. So there is this information overload. You know, the other side of this is that lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse brings revelation. It brings new awarenesses, new breakthroughs. And so you can see why all of these things together are creating this of energy. I keep on seeing it every time I tap into the energy of this new moon, this full moon. All I see is a cauldron bubbling over. And it's interesting because it doesn't feel like bad. We always want to go to the evil witch stirring the cauldron, but this is an earth witch, and it feels like medicine. It feels like nourishment, and it just feels like it's bubbling over. And it's like the stuff that is bubbling off the top is the stuff we don't need anymore. So let it bubble up and bubble over and get rid of it. And then what we're going to be left with is this beautiful cauldron of nourishment, of things that are going to fill our cup. And if we can think of it in that way, maybe we can move through it with a different perspective, a different mindset, a different awareness. I am sending out so much love and healing because it does feel like this is going to be a bit of a challenging couple of weeks for us. But I know we've got this because we're going to pay attention to that cauldron, and we're going to let it, all that stuff that we don't need, all that debris that we need to shake off is just bubbling over and bubbling out. You can always check out the daily messages. Those channel messages have been talking about all of these things. Same thing, the weekly message, the weekly channel message to give you a bigger picture of the energy for the week. Same thing, all of these things have been coming up over and over and over again. So it was a given that we had to talk about this today in preparation of that full moon tomorrow. Always grateful for you being here and sharing with me. Tomorrow also is the end of the pre-sale for the planners. They are half sold out now. If you are interested in getting yours, please reach out to get yours soon. I just got an invoice from the printer, so I'm hoping that means that they're done or getting close to being done. Also coming up soon, I have an amazing event that I am super excited about. We're doing Haunting Halloween at the Coach and Lantern in Ancaster, Ontario. It is a Halloween event. I love to honor the spirits for Halloween. So one of my dear friends, Bert, is going to come in, and he's going to teach you about spirit photography and show you some of the incredible things that he has captured. I love the style of paranormal investigation that he does because he does it with such an honor and respect for the spirits. It's about really honoring who they were when they were alive and why they're there. Not so much that, we're not poking the bear or anything like that. We really bring compassionate and loving energy to the investigations that he does. We're not necessarily investigating the Coach and Lantern. We're just there to learn about spirit photography. Although I will chat with the spirits that are there and share messages from them. I will also be doing about 2 hours of mediumship and sharing messages from the loved ones that you guys all brought with you. It is going to be an amazing event. I am super excited. So it is Sunday, October 27th from 7 to 10 p.m. and it is $50. They are opening the space for us early. So if you want to come in and get dinner and drinks and make a night of it, I highly recommend the food there. It is so good. It is Old English pub food, and they have a little of everything. Everything we've ever tried on the menu has been excellent, so there is no wrong answers. So yeah, come on in and celebrate with us the Halloween season. Tickets are on sale right now. You can get them on my website at fromtheheartandsoul.com. I feel like there's so much coming up. I'm doing ramens and readings at Mystic Ramen on October 27th. I don't do a lot of in-person reading. October 17th. I don't do a lot of in-person readings. Most of my readings are over Zoom these days. So if you are looking for an in-person reading, come and check me out October 17th at Mystic Ramen. They're going to be mini readings, ramen, bowl of ramen. Again, no wrong choice on that menu either. Everything is so good. It's one of my favorite places to eat. And I love that Mystic is in the name. So come check it out there. That hasn't been released yet, but it will be being released very, very soon. Of course, follow along on social media, grab my newsletter. All of those things will give you the information that you're looking for. Let's leave it there. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for being here and sharing with me your energy. If you can like, subscribe, comment, leave a review, any of the above, I would greatly appreciate it. Good luck with the full moon and the lunar eclipse energy and what that brings. And we'll see you again soon. Bye now.